Okay, so we got a mistake that we got to clear up from last week's episode of Pose. Let's go. And I'm like, come on through, Corky. I'm going up on my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What, Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Pose. This is season 2, episode 2. Episode 2. Now, I have to clear up something right away. If you remember back to last week's review, I actually laughed and said, you know what, I gotta stop doing this late at night when I'm tired. It was like after 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning when I actually did my review last week. And I referred to the medication as EZT. Let's clear that up. You all know for a fact that I know better than that. It is AZT. Again, gotta stop doing this stuff at 3 and 2 and 4 in the morning. But I was dog tired, so I apologize about that. It's AZT, and I just wanted to put that out there. But anyway, people corrected me. You know, you guys are always looking out, honey. And you know, I got my folks that love me, that look out for things like that. And then, you know, we have the fact checkers that are just waiting for me to say something wrong. Anyway, AZT, not EZT. Come on, James, get with it. Get with it. Okay, so, Pose, season 2, episode 2. Let's go. All right, so, first category, we come right in, at a ball. Category is Femme Queen Realness. Is a great category. Always is a great category. It's the things of beauty, honey. Femme Queen. For you all that don't know what that is, Femme Queen is actually a, it's not a drag queen. It is a pre-operative transsexual or a full-on transsexual, a trans woman, if you will. They live as women, and they are either in the midst of the transition or completely finished with the transition. And it is all about looking, feeling, because they even go down into feel and touch. Looking like a woman. Feeling like a woman. So, the realer, the better. And they will break it all the way down to body parts and feeling your skin and looking at your pores. It gets real deep. But Femme Queen Realness, and this is what was going on. And baby, Miss Lulu came and wrecked the floor. She came out and she had this little brawly top on, and she had a full-on crinoline and tulle skirt. And she's doing her thing, and it's this whole little iridescent moment. Very, Cyndi Lauper, Madonna. Yeah, very much that. Very Cyndi Lauper, Madonna mesh type of thing. So she does her little walk, and then she stops in the middle of the floor, baby, and she gives you all a reveal, baby, and made the kids gag. She opened the skirt, and actually underneath the skirt she had a pair of the iridescent spandex pants on, giving very much Madonna. Very much a Madonna look. She walked out from the skirt, but the skirt continued to stand. It didn't collapse. It literally, because it went to the floor, it literally stood in its place, and it stayed there. Flawless. Definitely something. I've seen this before. I've seen it happen before. It's you see that type of stuff in pageants a lot. But back then, you know, that was like innovative. She broke it up. I said, come on, Miss Lulu, you better come on through on these kids. So that was flawless. We go on, and then we find out, you know, we had questions about what the hell is it that Elektra is actually doing to actually have this money and got herself back on track. Sure enough, that whore is down there. She done got her a job working as a dominatrix. She's working as a dominatrix. This is a little underground little spot, and she is getting paid. Getting paid. And that is something that is very lucrative, and those things have not changed even to this day. Fetish and dominatrix and that whole little underground scene and working girls, yes. I ain't going all into it and how I know all about it, but it's very lucrative, and it will never go out. It'll never go out of style. The oldest profession in the world. But our girl's a dominatrix. She's getting paid. So, Blanca has found a little property, a storefront. She wants to open up her nail salon. Now, remember, she's been saving up for a year. So we meet this landlord. Oh, this woman, honey. You all seen my thumbnail. Woman is a mess. She is just rich, and she just nasty, and she's rude. She's homophobic. She is shady. She's, Friday first and last month in the security deposit did a handshake deal. No lease. Shady. Talked a little bit about how she got rid of her last husband, and that's how we found out she was really homophobic, because he was getting serviced by a gentleman in Colwell. And she walked in on it, honey, and then she said, yeah, he was giving him something, honey, but I really stuck it to him. I said, oh, she's a mess. She's a mess. So I said, this ain't the last we're going to see of her. I knew it was going to be some mess. So we'll get to it. Anyway, then we look up, and Ricky's back. Here's little cute little brown skinned Ricky. He's back, and him and Damon are going at it already, honey, And in the midst of it, they get caught, and Blanca's like, come up out of there, child. Somebody had actually passed away, one of the friends. And they talked about it. Here they get to the funeral. None of the boys from the house of Evangelista show up. None of the boys show up. This is house stuff. Remember, they're kids. They are kids, and kids do what kids do. They don't do right. They didn't show up. Blanca went off. She's at home. They all come back home. She's snapping out on them. And we found out she's actually not taking her meds as well. We found out she's not taking the meds. She's been reading and hearing things about the AZT, and I told you last week what AZT does to people. And she's afraid. So she's afraid. She's just afraid. And then we ran into this whole little thing, because she actually sat down at one point with Nurse Judy, and she's telling her, she's scared. She's scared of taking it, and then she also feels guilty about actually being able to have the meds, and other people don't. And she's going through this whole self-doubt situation of where she's saying, maybe I deserve to have this disease. It's her self-saboteur is really playing on her psyche is all that it is. Get that little voice in your head that tells you you're not worthy. So this is what she had going on. And later on, throughout the program, she starts seeing different things going on, watching the kids and how the kids aren't really taking things serious. And again, Blanca's always being faced with the fact that you have to be the shining star. No matter what's going on, you have to set the example. You have to make your bar so high, because if you don't make your bar high, how are you teaching people below you? And this is her thing. So going through all of that, she eventually did begin to take her meds. She talked to Nurse Judy. Nurse Judy's like, girl, listen, change your mind frame. Stop worrying about dying and worry about living. Take this medicine. So she's taking the medicine. So that's that. So then we see this scene where Elektra is at the house. And of course, they don't really have money. And Elektra is selfish and she's self-centered. She's not really contributing to the living situation. Not paying her bills like she's supposed to. And just basically kind of like banking money. She's like banking her money. And it's like so shady. Because she know they don't have money. And she's loaded. Like she literally is loaded. You understand me? And look around and they're all eating popcorn and drinking Slim Fast. Come on. It's solidarity, girl. We're all on the diets. And they're eating this popcorn and with hot sauce and drinking this Slim Fast. And you know Miss Candy just gives the blues, honey. She's like, I need another closet. What am I supposed to do with my finery? And Candy's like, listen, girl. This is my house, bitch. The closet that's left is my closet. I share it with Lulu. It's been designated. And that's enough. And I don't want to hear any more about it. Do you understand that, bitch? You know, that Candy has something for you, honey. Miss Candy. Child, next thing I know, that damn Elektra pulls her little stunt again. Because I seen her when the argument started and she got up and she was like, saying something about them and start calling them whores and bitches and stuff and telling them they were peasants and this, that. I said, if she flips another table over, I am going to fall out. Sure enough, she gets toward the end of the argument and she grabs the tablecloth and pulls the tablecloth and Candy was like, what the fuck's that about, bitch? She gonna say, it's my new signature move, bitches. And what? They leave up out of there. I said, oh my God. Something's wrong with her. Something is so wrong with her. She leaves out of there and then we see Elektra going around town and she is picking all the fierce children. And I mean all the fierce children. Hey, we seen Deshaun. Deshaun is a legendary voguer. He's legendary right now, real live voguer. He's playing the part. And like just all of these fierce ass femme queens and just, child, I was like, oh my goodness. I said, they are getting ready to let the ballroom have it. She even went and grabbed the first Caucasian femme queen and she was beautiful. Brought them in there, baby. They went and they stormed the ball. There was a ball going on and Evangelista had just they had reenacted Romeo and Juliet. And the house, Lulu and them's house, had done Cinderella. They did Cinderella. And then the lights shut out and here it's Elektra's house. They stormed the ballroom and they're like, you can't come and, you know, just like interrupt the category. Girl, you know better than this. Don't start this bullshit, you know? And they're like, pray tell, what are you going to do? Pray tell's like, girl, okay. So they check with the judge. She said, I just wanted to introduce my house. We're making an introduction. And she said, you know, surely all that I've done for the ballroom over the years, surely I'm allowed that. Honey, and the judges gave it, girl, no. Child, that damn Pray Tell said, well, the panel has spoken and the answer is no, bitch. I was falling out at them. I was like, they are too much. She was so mad. Then the next thing you know, because she ended up getting, right before they did all that, she had gotten into a fight with Candy. Her and Miss Candy. They started having, Candy said, girl, I'm going to fix your face, bitch. And goes in her purse and pulls out a hammer. And child, Miss Elektra went in her titty and pulled out a damn blade. I said, child, will you look at these clowns, honey? And they was getting it, honey. Child, Miss Elektra had to slice Miss Candy. I said, girl, that's a mess, honey. Now cut her little cheap outfit. Also, in the beginning of this episode, we see Angel. Actually, there was a nice scene where Angel actually worked. She was helping Blanca to femme up her look. She's teaching her makeup, and she got her some different clothes. She was like, girl, what kind of clothes is these? She was like, Miss Thing. And she started telling her, she was like, well, girl, everybody wasn't graced with like perfect bone structure and all of that. You know, they write her character. She's supposedly struggle on the looks that people could actually really clock her very easily. So that's like that whole thing. Anyway, we'll get back to that. Okay, so they had their little fight, and she ends up there like, Electra, get out. You and your kids just get out. And she says, whatever. She says, we are the House of Windsor. After fanged Anna Wintour. I said, oh, okay. And then 2 of the boys from Evangelista was like, oh, girl, we're out, honey. So they jump on that honey, and they left, and they joined the House of Wintour and went on out the door. I said, child, these kids will jump a house in a minute. It doesn't happen in real life. So they went on and they left. Right after that, we turn around. Damon is at the bar, and this little guy is at the bar, and he starts picking at Damon and says, girl, you look smaller in pictures, Miss Thing. You probably should lose about 10 pounds. Now, you know Damon is a dancer, so you know that got right up underneath his skin. You know how dancers are about their bodies, honey. And he kept on picking at him, then told him, he's like, child, don't get mad, girl. Of course I know who you are. She's like, you don't know me. She said, I do know you. She said, how do you know me? She said, from pictures. She said, where would you see a picture of me? She said, honey, I've been screwing your man all summer. Like, what are you talking about? Yes, I dance on the same company with Ricky, and child, it was on. They got to fighting at him. Ricky done lied and said, I never did that. No, we didn't do it. Lying, child. He didn't did it. Maybe they got to fight and carrying on. We leave the ball, because at that point, Pray Tell had enough. He was pissed. He shut the ball down. They go home. They're all at the house. And definitely, Blanca was looking really nice. And this, like, all her new clothes, she definitely looks nicer. I was like, go ahead, Blanca. But they actually were still going at it. And, you know, the whole house is there. And Damon blurts out that he let Ricky talk him into having sex without a condom. Oh, my God. You know, Blanca was having a fit. So they have all that going on. Child, in the midst of that, she tells them about the importance of getting tested and all that stuff. Fussing at them. You knew better. They end up, the 2 of them go get tested. They both come back. They're both negative. So that's great. And, you know, all this, the wheels are spinning. The wheels are spinning on Damon. We're seeing this go on. These wheels are spinning on Damon. And he's getting it. Okay, now you done slid through. You done come through unscathed. And the wheels are spinning. This ain't a good situation. We already know Ricky is whorish. Ricky was whorish from the door. Ricky actually was a streetwalker from the beginning. But even still, after he doesn't have to do it anymore, he still just has a whorish nature. So that's just who he is. He's not good to date. That's all. That's all that's to it. And Damon's learning. He's growing up. He's learning. So I'm watching this. I'm saying, okay. Then we have this whole little situation where the little nasty landlord lady, her son, rolls through and says, do you know that person that you rented to, you know that's a dude, right? And the mother's like, no, it's not. So he convinces her. He's like, you're so busy trying to do what you're doing and being messy. You didn't even pick up. That's a dude. So she said, go evict him. So he goes down there and he calls himself evicting Blanca. Blanca's like, no. So she's been clocked. She's like, that's not getting ready to happen, baby. So she ended up having some conversation with Pray Tell. Of course, Pray Tell was telling her, you fight. You know, you have to fight. You know, it is what it is. So she ends up fighting, and her and the lady end up running out head to head, baby. It was on. They had this little conversation, baby, and the lady was giving, you're going to get out of here, honey. That's how it's going to go. She's like, no, I paid you. I paid you. You know, and I got time. It's my right. And she was like, you're going to get out of here, honey. I have Russian friends and Italian friends that don't mind coming in here taking it out on you and your kneecaps, honey. She told her, she said, do you think that I'm worried about a beating? beatings is something that I'm used to, honey, so bring it on. And I'll see you in court. I ain't going nowhere, honey. I got squatters' rights. She gave it to her. So she's like, fine. So that's going to be an ongoing battle. But she ain't nobody been sent down to bust her knees yet. I said, Lord have mercy. So she felt good about the fact that she had actually stood up for herself and all that. Then we have this dinner at the house, and Blanca tells her story to the kids. And baby, when I tell you, I was so done. Poppy, I love Poppy. I just love Poppy. Poppy was so done. So done. Because they were making like jokes and not paying attention and just being real cavalier about sleeping without a condom and that. And Angel went off. She went off and she told Blanca, tell him. Tell him. And she told him, I have AIDS and that's that. So they're kind of like looking and they all get to looking sad. But that Poppy took me out, honey. That Poppy told her, if you get one sniffle, honey, you just turn to me. I'm going to take care of it because you took care of me. It was, honey, look, I was ready to run up out of here. That Poppy took me out. So we love Poppy. Anyway, so they went through all of that. That scene was just too much. Too much, too heavy. We'll go back to the ball. We're at a ball, child. So this is going to be the first ball where everybody is there. And it's like a big ball for the year. And the category is Stomp the Runway in Feathers. Child, and it's the normal. Blanca came through, lit it up. Candy, Miss Candy came through. She was so low budget. She was so low budget. Child, pray tell was giving Miss Candy. That's not Feathers, girl. What are you doing, honey? Somebody needs to teach you, just take you back to preschool and teach you the difference between feathers and foam, honey. It's not Feathers, girl. Get on out of here. I said, oh, God. You know, it's terrible. They give Miss Candy the blues. Child, I love it. Because she's so ridiculous. She's so back alley, you know? So she stomped on out of there, baby. She mad. Because she had like some old angel wings. Child, they was so broke down and so tacky. She took them off and threw them at the people. I said, girl, you are a clown. A complete clown. Just a mess. Her aesthetic is just horrible. I know some people like that that's just always trying to do music videos and stuff and just got a terrible aesthetic, honey. Just terrible. Anyway, so she goes on about the business. And then you get the House of Wintour and child... them kids from Wintour, naturally they got the money, so they got the best costumes. And when they have this damn seashell, it's like a full-size seashell. And when they crack the seashell, in the middle of the seashell is the damn Electra. She's in the seashell. She comes out, and she literally has the wings. And then they're the kind that pop, and then they expand it all the way out. Child, and Miss Candy over there hollering, they're not feathers either. And he said, that's okay. They're better than yours. Shut up, bitch. I said, oh my God. Just a mess. It was a mess. But she did. She looked flawless. And of course, she won the category. Of course. As usual. Electra in the House of Wintour. But then Pray Tell took a moment and still said, that's okay, you didn't win the trophy tonight, Mother Blanca, but girl, you still storms the ballroom with the kids. You give them something that they ain't used to, baby. Businesswoman, entrepreneur of the year, the only one in here. Get into it. So Blanca is still, she's a trendsetter. A real trendsetter. She's setting trends outside of the ballroom, which is even more important in some people's eyes. Okay, so then, right after that, we actually see Damon talking with Ricky, and he completely breaks up with Ricky. He tells Ricky, you know what? This is not working for me. I like you and everything, but I had to let you go. And baby, that Ricky had the nerve to be sitting out there crying. And I'm sitting there and I said, hey, this is just how boys do. Well, you know you did it, so what are you over there crying? I couldn't believe he actually had the nerve to really be dropping an actual tear when you were guilty as charged. But that's what boys do. So I don't mess around with that dating mess now. Anyway, so that was that. Is what it is. So after that, we actually see like flashes of what people were doing. Damon's doing good. Damon started teaching Vogue and making himself a little money and making a name for himself on the side. Electra got her own place. Lovely, lovely apartment. Lovely apartment. And got kids up underneath her again, and she treating them like crap, naturally. And Ricky left the house of Evangelista and joined the house of Wintour. I said, shady, shady, shady. So that's where we actually ended up. And again, fabulous episode. A whole lot to take in. Like I said, the hardest part was the whole thing with Poppy. Poppy took me out this week. But anyway, that was it. And I will catch up with you all next week. All right, guys. Later.